Hi everyone, welcome to ctrl-alt-rees. I'm Rees with my lockdown 2.0 hair. We've literally just come out of the second lockdown here in the UK and I haven't been able to get to the barbers to get that sorted yet, so hopefully I can sort that out sometime early next week. And I just wanted to put out an update video. It didn't really fit into the format of any of my other existing series really, but there's some quite exciting news, some stuff that's been going on in the background, stuff going on with the channel and with my life and whatever else. And I really wanted to just put out a video update, so that's what this is. So if you're a regular YouTube viewer, you're probably familiar with the concept of a second channel, which is where some of the bigger YouTubers will put out a second channel where they just put kind of more unscripted, behind the scenes, more kind of personal content on there, but, usually quite rough and kind of put together just as an outlet and a way of keeping people up to date and not kind of distracting from the content on their main channel. And this is very much the kind of video that would go on a second channel if I had one, or as an exclusive Patreon update perhaps. But I'm not really keen on the idea of setting up a second channel at the moment. I think it would distract from my work on my videos. The way I put my videos together is I'm quite busy in my day job as a software developer, so I'll do bits here and there, and maybe an hour or so in the evenings. And I can record the part to the camera one evening, and I can record the voiceover another evening, and spend another evening sort of finding stock photos and stock footage and drawing diagrams, and the whole thing kind of comes together over the course of a couple of weeks. And I don't think that's unusual at all for someone who's not doing YouTube full time. But the time that I get to sort of sit down in front of the camera when there's nobody else in the house, no distractions, no background noise, no central heating pipes banging and washing machine going and all that kind of stuff, that time is actually quite rare. And I think if I was doing regular behind the scenes updates and that kind of stuff, I think it would take up valuable time that I could spend working on my videos. And I'm really enjoying that at the minute. So no plans for a second channel at the moment. That said, I really wanted to do this general channel update, and one of the reasons is because I've hit 1,000 subscribers, and it was quite a while back now. It was on the 27th of October, and I've been thinking I really need to do something to mark the occasion, put out a special 1,000 subscriber video, or do a live stream or that kind of thing. And I just haven't got around to it. I've been really busy with work. I've been really busy on my YouTube stuff, and it's just the time's slipping away, and the time is, I think the window's kind of closing to celebrate that, especially as I'm now at 1,640 subscribers at the time of recording. So yeah, that's nearly doubled. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel so far. The first anniversary of my channel, what I consider to be the first anniversary of my channel, was on the 15th of November. So 27th of October, hit 1,000 subscribers. 2 weeks later, first channelversary. So yeah, before even a year of doing this, I found 1,000 kind of like-minded people who are actually interested in what I have to say and interested in my content. So that's really fantastic. And I really appreciate it. I do appreciate all of your support for the channel. I appreciate my patrons. I've hit 30 patrons now, not physically hit, and just at 30 patrons. People pay me monthly for my video content, which I think is just overwhelming. Really, it's just kind of incredible. So yeah, thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart, patrons, subscribers, anyone who's ever liked or commented or shared one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. It's really cool of you. So a big part of that has come off the back of something called DOScember, which you've probably noticed. I put out a video last week where I was playing with this computer behind me. I've been chatting to some people for quite a while. Noah from Noah's Retro Lab. Obviously Neil from RMC, Dave, who I wasn't aware at the time, but it turns out he's best friends with Adrian Black. And I got invited onto their mailing list. Obviously multiple people being familiar with my videos and stuff and kind of recommended me for it. I got chatting to them and ended up in a Zoom call with the likes of, all of those people, and Adrian Black, and the 8-bit guy showed up. And I have to admit, honestly, I was really out of my depth with that one. I just spent the entire time just panicking. And there's so much stuff that Adrian edited out of that video. The actual conversation that we had was about an hour longer than what was sort of publicly released, and we did sort of do some chatting and stuff around the content that was released, and a Zoom call with some of my heroes and some of my inspirations for my channel, and it was kind of a really big moment for me. So yeah, just the whole thing's just kind of bizarre. And then off the back of that, I was invited to sort of be on the official list of DOScember creators. I put my video out. I got a massive rush of new subscribers and comments and attention off the back of it. So I just kind of wanted to thank those people as well, just for kind of taking me under their wing. I mean, we're talking people, with 100,000 subscribers, and obviously in the case of the 8-bit guy, he's got over 1 million now. Sort of to find myself in that kind of group of people and in that circle and kind of chatting to those people is bizarre. But yeah, that's the way life goes sometimes, and that's it. That's the kind of stuff that happens to me in my day job as well. So they're just people like you and me. We all have a common interest, and it's nice to just sort of sit down and chat. So yeah, kind of having a lot of fun at the moment. On the subject of DOScember, I mentioned in my DOScember video and also in that Zoom call that I was putting together a video about my IBM 5150 here. I haven't forgotten about that. I am still working on it in the background. I'm currently doing some research and working on the script. Just want to make sure I cover all aspects of this machine, a bit about its history and also about what I've done to it since I've owned it. So yeah, obviously look forward to that one in the near future. And just back onto my MMX system for a moment. In that DOScember video, there was an issue that came up when I went into Windows, where the output from the graphics card was really, really bad. There's really bad interference on that. I've since tested the card in another computer, and it has exactly the same issue, which leads me to believe that it's an issue with the card itself rather than the environment or the the power supply or anything like that. The output was a bit nicer when I put it into my my NetVista here. But it was still picking up that interference. So I think what I'm going to do is attempt to recap that graphics card. There's some electrolytic caps on there. Of course, they're probably well past their best now, which should hopefully help to improve that. Obviously, if there's like a filter capacitor that's failed somewhere, it will be picking up RF interference, and that won't be getting filtered out. So probably a clever place to start. On the subject of that S3 Verge card, somebody has very kindly contacted me since that video went out and basically said that it wasn't fully populated with RAM. This card uses DRAM rather than VRAM. And would I be interested in some RAM chips? And he's very, very kindly sent me some RAM chips for the card, which are on their way from Germany. So I'm going to talk about the improvements gained as a result of upgrading the RAM in that card, but also perhaps more interesting is this parcel, which arrived a couple of days ago and which you probably saw if you follow me on Twitter. And in here we have an Orchid Righteous 3D card, which, if you know your 3D graphics cards, is the original Voodoo card, the original 3DFX Voodoo 3D accelerator. And this card is designed to be used alongside a more traditional 2D card. And apparently they do work very well with the S3 Verge, which is fantastic, because once I've managed to sort out the image output issues on the Verge and upgrade the RAM in that, I could also put this in that system, and it has a pass-through cable that connects the Verge into this card, and have the best of both worlds and be able to sort of switch between the two. So I'm definitely going to be going ahead with my S3 Verge versus 3DFX Voodoo comparison video. That should probably be January or February, once I've kind of worked my way through the rest of my backlog and the other stuff that I want to kind of get out before that. So another kind of ongoing project, obviously, is my Atari video music, and I put out a video a couple of weeks ago about that. Of course, it's a really cool hi-fi device made by Atari back in the 70s. Really, really popular video. I've had loads of comments on that, loads of questions about it. A really fascinating thing that obviously a lot of people are interested in. I'm really pleased that that video did as well as it did, because I did put quite a lot of work into it, just hunting down facts and stock footage and all of that kind of stuff. There was a lot of work and research that went into that, and it's really motivated me to sort of get on with part 2 and get it finished once I've managed to get some other stuff out of the way. Also waiting for a few parts to arrive. One thing that I did get a lot of questions about on that video was whether there was a kind of an emulated version or a modern recreation of it for, you know, people who want to kind of enjoy the Atari video music without having to splash out on an original unit, because they're quite rare. They can go for quite a lot of money, and of course they're quite unreliable nowadays just because of the age of them and the kind of technology that they used. And I did some research into this, and it was something I was going to touch on in part 2. But I think what I've decided is that I'm actually going to make it a part 3, and I'm going to do a whole video basically building a clone of the Atari video music. And that clone is called a Pixel Music 3000. It was featured on Make magazine years and years ago. A lot of the links and stuff to do with that are dead now, so I've had to go and hunt down quite a bit of information and the original software and stuff. But what I have had made by PCBWay are these clone boards which I've designed, which are based around a parallax propeller microcontroller. And what this will allow people to do is to basically build their own Atari video music and program the microcontroller. And like I say, it's all based around the project that was featured in Make magazine. So yeah, hopefully should make for a really cool video, and also a tutorial that people should be able to follow along with as well. Of course, I will release the board designs and stuff so people can get their own PCBs made. Hopefully bring some more video musics into the world. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one, because I think that's going to be a really cool video. Speaking of cool videos and music related stuff, I suppose, a video I put out on my channel maybe a month or so ago now, which was all about DOS gaming and MIDI devices. And in that video I went into a lot of detail about the various options for connecting a DOS gaming PC to things like the Roland Sound Canvas and the MT32. And I'm really pleased to say that that was also quite a popular video, and got a lot of comments and a lot of good feedback on that, which is really great. But one thing I covered in that video, and something that's kind of grown into something bigger, and I have mentioned this in my projects and pickups updates as well, was the MT32 Pi, which is a project to emulate a Roland MT32 on the Raspberry Pi. And it's something I want to do an update video on very soon. My friend Chrissy from the RMC Discord has put together this really nice all-in-one Raspberry Pi MIDI hat. So this slots onto the top of the Raspberry Pi, and it adds a MIDI port. It adds an interface for a DAC, or a digital to analog converter, which will give you much better audio output than you get from the 3.5mm socket. And it also has an interface for an OLED screen, which supports various different sizes of OLED screen as well. So this is open source. He's released it on his GitHub, and something that I really want to cover specifically in a video, just showing how to assemble the whole thing. And yeah, so that's something that I also have in the pipeline. Yet again, I'm not quite sure when that one is going to be, just because of all the other stuff that I have going on. But I thought I'd mention it because I know there are a lot of people who I've kind of said, yes, I am working on this. You know, keep your eye open for the follow-up video. So yeah, one to look out for. And so we find ourselves at the end of the video. And I hope you found this update informative and interesting, and perhaps even entertaining. I mean, you've managed to stick with me so far, so it can't have been too bad. I won't be putting out a November projects and pickups video like I usually do every month, purely because I only really bought one thing in November, and that was that PC, which of course I've already covered. And the only project I worked on in November was my Atari video music, which I've also covered, so that wouldn't be a very interesting video. But normal service will resume in early January, when I'll tell you all about the stuff that I've been up to in December. So far I've picked up some really cool stuff, and I've also got some really cool new projects in the pipeline, so I'm really looking forward to sharing those with you in a bit more detail. Obviously you've already seen a bit of a glimpse into those. But mainly just wanted to put this video out just to thank everybody for your support in my first year, to thank all of those 1,640 odd subscribers that have joined me so far, and of course thank everyone who's going to be joining me and supporting the channel. A big thanks to my patrons for your support. Obviously, this year has been a bit strange for everyone, so I hope I've helped do my bit to inform and entertain all of you, maybe distract from some of the weird stuff that's going on in real life. It's certainly been a big help for me personally, just to have this creative outlet and to spend my time putting these videos together and sharing my projects with you. And long may it continue into 2021 and beyond. So once again, yes, thank you all for your support. I hope you enjoyed the update, and normal service shall resume hopefully next week.